Keep out. Well, I guess I can't go anywhere further this way. Ah, yeah, that's the edge of the map. It's not a huge world, it's just a sprawling world. Sprawling world that doesn't give me the ability to jump, that'd be great. But I'm fine with the limited kind of movement sometimes. It means more of a focus on just staying on the ground and wailing away on enemies. And so far, the combat is serviceable. I want to see more of what we can get.
What do you want? Leave me alone.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I'm looking for Nurse Dorothy Crane.
There is no Dorothy Crane here. Now goodbye.
I'm afraid this medical leaflet says the opposite, sir.
Really? Well, I'm afraid I'm going to close this door right now. Go bother someone else, Mr. Doctor.
Wow.
To enter that house, I must discover who this man really is. Maybe I could start by observing what he's up to.
Okay, sure. I could also, you know, like, break the door down with my super strength. Darius, or investigate Darius Petrescu's actions. Well, where can I do that? Ah. Well, here you go. Is Miss Crane gonna be over there? Aha! Look at that.
A strange man was at the door with a pass for our medical facility. I refused him entry.
Darius, how could you know he didn't need our help?
His clothes were too finely tailored to be from Whitechapel.
Perhaps just a friend of that stray poet who is always about.
Richard Nithercott? No, not of the same cloth, this man. I suspect some machination from that journalist.
Clayton Darby. Is he still asking questions?
Yes. I saw him drifting around St. Mary's Church. I swear he is tracking me just downwind.
I'm glad these people are saying the full names of everybody that they have suspicions of. Clayton Darby? Yeah, alright. Darius is the right arm of Dorothy Crane. That's all we got from that? Okay, sure.
I must talk to that journalist or the poet. They must know about Darius. Nearby the church they just mentioned.
Yeah, alright. I wonder if Clayton Darby is the blackmailer. It would make some sense.
Game you pay for peace of mind. Can't you just look the other way this week, Joe? Come on, we can sort it out, right?
It's not my call, Barrett. You pay one way or another.
Please, Joe. How long have we known each other? We even used to be neighbours, for Christ's sake.
I'd prefer not to give you another beating, Barrett.
Hey, gents. What can we do here?
Excuse me, sir. I have a few questions for you.
Another journalist? I didn't answer the first one, so piss off!
I'm not a journalist, I'm a doctor.
A doctor, you say? It's quite a rare breed in this part of town.
Really? But still, here I am. Dr. Jonathan Reed, at your service.
I'm Joe Peterson's son, but Colossus Joe to most. And I don't remember asking for your service, sir.
Yeah, I didn't offer really too much of my service. I was just saying that I am at your service, and you know what? I just want to ask you some questions.
May I ask what you do around here?
I do whatever I want, and sometimes even more. Now sod off.
Nope, still got questions.
According to you, physicians are scarce in this part of town. Why is that?
Not familiar with this neighborhood, are you? I guess your fancy colleagues are too afraid of being stabbed in the back.
This part of town does have quite a reputation. Would you say it's justified?
Totally. Look at me, for instance. I always look my opponent in the eye before knocking him out.
I'd love to see you try to knock me out. Don't think you're gonna do so well. I love how if I look at Mesmerized, look how creepy I fucking look. My eyes are all like super bloodshot and white. We don't really have that kind of trait, outside of that.
Have you heard of a nurse named Dorothy Crane? She's a colleague of mine and is supposed to live around here.
Dorothy Crane? Yeah, I know her. One of the few good souls who dare to help the sick around here.
Could you please tell me more about her?
She's a nice girl. Tries to help the migrants. I offered to give her a hand, but she said my reputation would attract too much attention.
Well, I guess that's one way to put it.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Take a look. Don't be afraid.
Oh, what about you, buddy? Did you need help?
Please, take a browse of my wares.
I am Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind.
Doctor? Interesting. I'm Barrett Lewis. Usually I don't have time to waste with talk, but at this hour of the night I can hardly refuse.
Well, you know, first off, I want to see what you have.
Right then. Show me what you have.
Okay, he's got a lot of those parts for upgrading, so that's good. Here's a solid vendor. I'm just broke because of spending way too much money. What is my next upgrade on my weapon? I keep pressing start. I hate when my inventory is on like the back button on a controller rather than start, because start always seemed to me as the intuitive thing to hit. But games have been changing that. Swapping the buttons out when I don't want them to do that. Okay. So, how much does it cost me to upgrade this? Details. I need 6 lead plates and 3 good handle parts, so that's not happening for a while. This one I need 2 more common handle parts. Okay, that works out here.
Fancy buying something, sir?
You never lose your focus, do you? Right then.
Alright, tiny handle parts. And then I need to sell one thing so I can get more. There. Alright, next time I go to a hideout, I can upgrade my steak to give me a little bit more. Where's the closest hideout? Actually, kind of right down the street. Can I get rid of this? Can I have 2 markers? Oh wow, that's nice. I kind of can make up a little bit for when we're doing investigations. I want to upgrade my steak. Just so that way we don't get caught up and distracted and I'm sitting there going, man, I really wish I could upgrade this right now. Up here? No. Here we go. I was looking up at that, but it wasn't showing me an A prompt, so I'm like,
cannot enter.
why is it not letting me do that? Okay, this is not the one we were at beforehand, I guess. Which is disappointing, because I'd like to go in. I felt like we have been in here. Right? Oh, okay, here we go. This is the one that we were at before, because we're at the same area with the rats and the blood and everything. And I'm sure there's gonna be quite a few places with rats and blood, but, you know, I didn't know. Alright. Maybe there's a second door up here that we can open on our way out. Like right here. Okay. Okay, common Pruin steak. I'm gonna be really sad because we're gonna get like some really amazing other offhand or one-hand weapons. I'm throwing all my upgrades into these things. Okay. Kablam. And then I don't have the rest of the materials, but maybe I could scrap some stuff. Let's see. I need aluminum powder and aluminum shards. The cigarette case seems to be the best thing for that. Whoops. And now I can upgrade to use a little bit less stamina as well, which is alright. I would prefer to just get more stun, more and more stun. Okay, so it looks like by the time we reach the end of this, I can get like almost 40 stun points. Which would be pretty nice. Perfect Pruin steak. Ooh. I like the sound of that. And then I can give it a little bit of blood absorption in the end as well. Just so that way when I'm spamming it on everybody, good things will happen. Also, we'll consider some things here. We have so much in terms of our points. I don't know if this is all of our abilities, though. I think I remember seeing someone say that you can get different abilities elsewhere, but I don't know. Alright, sorry about that. I started to sneeze for a bit. But the good news is I took the time to look back at what I read, and it's not abilities, it was talking about weapons. So, you know what? I'm gonna be a little less frugal with my points, because I thought I was gonna get like some really cool abilities at some point that aren't on this tree, but I guess not really. This is what we've got. Okay, so first, we can't get any of these just yet because we're not high enough. So I'm gonna throw some points into some of these other things. Just so that we can just be a general bit stronger. Endurance is a solid thing to get. Just so that way I don't have to sit there constantly going, well, hell, I'm out of stamina, I guess I'm dying. What about other things? Biting damage might be nice. Just because we're gonna start dealing with enemies that have more and more health. And so having my bite also be a source of really solid damage would be nice. Because that's going to get us to 50, that's going to assumably get us to 75, and so on and so on and so on. So maybe we won't get to 2,000, I'm not sure. Again, I'm not really trying to math super hard here. But it's a pretty solid upgrade, although you can see that it starts getting exponential. So we have 150, 300, 400, 600, 700, 900, 1,000. It's no longer just incremental increases of 50 at that point, which is nice. Okay, and I was about to like throw points into some of these other things, but no, we can actually get our ultimate now. I don't know what I want still, because I don't know what each of these abilities can do. The Beast sounds really cool. This is why I like it when the games have like a little tiny video that shows you exactly how that ability functions, rather than just like, oh, here's a tiny description and a tiny visual representation. Because for all I know, Rage could suck. Rage could really suck. The Beast teleports itself to all enemies around you and strikes them with furious blows. But I want supreme damage. I want supremely high, like single target damage. Because I can handle groups. Kind of. I'm not good at it, but I can handle groups. Okay, at the end of this, it can get to 2,000 shadow damage. At the end of this, it can get to 1,300 blood cauldron damage. At the end of this, it gets to 600 rage damage. But that might, because it's a teleporting attack, that might not be exactly what we're thinking of there. But Abyss sounds cool. And it seems like it still has a little bit of AoE, but eventually also does 2,000 shadow damage. The only problem is that I think this will be great against enemies that don't have shadow resistance, but I think all the really tough targets are gonna have shadow resistance, which will suck. Still, I'm gonna throw points into Abyss, and I'm gonna hope that it's good. I'm gonna really hope that it's good. And we're gonna rest up. At worst, it sucks, and I have to sit there trying to gain points for a different ability. Okay. It didn't really seem like anything super changed in the citizen menu, although Clay Cox, his thing kind of changed there a little bit. I don't know if he's extra sick. Ooh. He might have gotten even sicker. Because I think he was at fatigue, now he's at anemia. Okay. So that is something we really gotta be worried about. The longer someone is sick, obviously the worse they'll get. Do I have a cure for anemia? Yeah, right here. Alright. We'll have to heal Clay Cox whenever we go back there. I don't have to sit there and be like, oh, I leveled up, and so this guy now developed into the most advanced form of the flu. Alright. I can't just attack randomly right now, which is terribly unfortunate. But I'm sure we'll find some enemies soon enough.
For there is no protection against malevolence and trickery.
Hello.
Excuse me, sir. Are you familiar with this part of town?
Nope.
Name's Clayton Darby, reporter.
Sorry, I'm new to Whitechapel. But perhaps you could help me since you're a journalist. My name is Jonathan Reed.
Dr. Reed, the famous surgeon. I'll gladly help if I'm able, sir.
Okay. What do you know about this area?
What is a journalist doing in this borough after sunset?
He goes where none of his colleagues would dare to go, to inform the country.
So you risk your life to reveal the truth. I saw many reporters do the same during the war.
Whitechapel is the crucible of so many untold stories and tragedies. I want people to know them.
Okay. But is it for a good purpose? Clayton wants newspapers to print the truth about the Whitechapel situation. Okay, well maybe he's a good guy.
That's quite honorable of you. But is the public interested?
Not at all, sir. And that's why I'm an independent journalist, hoping to sell some stories.
Yeah, alright, fair enough. So he isn't just like some jackass working for a company and being like, no, I just want these stories, even though they're not doing bad. He's his own kind of, he's a freelancer who still does his stories that might not do so well, but sometimes other people buy them.
Why are the newspapers keeping silent about the Spanish influenza? It's as though none of you care.
There's a war going on. People shouldn't be demoralized by news of deadly diseases.
It's a disgrace.
It's a disgrace. People are left to die alone. No one is properly informed of the risks.
These are bad times indeed. So much for the glorious British Empire.
That's it? Alright.
Have you any idea of the danger you face in these streets at night?
I've had to run and hide more than once from frenzied mobs incensed by the fever. Do you think the flu is really responsible for this, Doctor?
My rationalism has been recently shaken. We'll say it's not a simple epidemic.
I'm convinced there is more at work here than a simple epidemic.
Really? To be honest, I could say the same. Some of the sick I saw or heard of. My God, what happened to them?
Yep, some of them have been pretty darn vicious. But I need some information.
I heard you're investigating an underground medical dispensary in Whitechapel. What do you know about it?
Not much, I'm afraid. They are wary of strangers, and I'm not really an acquaintance of theirs. Why do you care?
A nurse I know is compromised? Ooh, I care about public health.
I'm a doctor, Mr. Darby. I care about everything involving public health and this epidemic.
Are you sure you're not just concerned about the repercussions that a scandal involving a certain Nurse Crane from the Pembroke Hospital would bring?
Without a doubt, you are a damn
Yeah,
fine
damn, he got me
journalist,
there.
Mr. Darby. What do you know of her accomplice, a man named Darius?
I don't know much about the man. He's very cautious. Never goes out. Doesn't seem to have any friends or family.
He never goes out. That's the big thing we take from that.
He has no relatives at all?
No. Except for that strange man, a poet named Richard Nethercott, who sometimes comes by. Darius would never let him in.
Where can I find this Mr. Nethercott?
He spends most of his time lurking around Whitechapel, talking to himself or declaring verses. These days, you can usually find him behind the church.
Alright, I guess I'm heading there next.
He never goes out.
No. A few days ago, he unexpectedly did. I followed him, but it was just a ruse to keep me away from his house.
Really? How do you know?
He went to the nearest mailbox, but just before posting his letter, he ripped it up and threw it away.
Wow. Alright. Maybe he just didn't want to send out the letter. Have you thought about
Goodbye,
that?
Mr. Darby. Farewell.
Okay. Well, we gotta find Nethercott. Find the mailbox and the letter. Oh. I guess I could also find that, too. Where is it? It's in the area. In the general area around here. I want to find the other guy. What kind of information he can give me. Oh. Why, hello there. Okay, that didn't do as much as I was hoping. But maybe he has shadow resistance? He has shadow resistance. Motherfucker. Okay. Uh-oh. Nice block, nice block. No! I have a blood barrier! Oh, it didn't go off in time, I guess. Ow! Stop doing that! Oh my god, my stamina. I'm just really sitting here trying to wait for it to go up and it just won't let it. Oh shit, you're alive. I thought he was low enough that I was gonna be able to take him out with that hit. Okay. Unfortunate that the first person I try my shadow ability on has shadow resistance. But fine. We'll have to be... Hopefully we'll have enough XP to pick and choose what we want for each battle, but I don't think we're gonna have that with the fact that we're not going down a drink every person's blood route. Is this Richard?
An angel made flesh, I tell you.
He looks like an ancestor for Benedict Cumberbatch a little bit.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions.
Please be my guest. Although I may not be the best informant regarding this part of town, my words speak about that which the eyes cannot see.
Really? Are you an artist of some kind?
I'm a poet, sir. Richard Nethercott, at your service.
Aren't you the one who has the poems that make Goswick really depressed? I think that's who he was referring to. Can I talk to him about that? Not really. Okay.
May I ask what you're doing at this hour of night, sir? Do you live here?
Not at all. I'm just enjoying the pleasure of a quiet walk. Though night talks are always preferable, if you ask me. Especially with strangers.
If you say so. But as a physician in a time of epidemic, I must caution you to avoid unnecessary exposure, sir.
Thank you, Doctor. But we both know the seeker of truth has to go boldly where the weak dare not.
Sure, but you could also still be pretty safe about not getting yourself sick.
But are you not afraid of the epidemic?
Oh, why should I? I see some equity in the Spanish flu. No flesh should be saved, say the scriptures. Good or evil, rich or poor, all are equal in the eyes of the flu.
Right. I mean, that's true, kind of. I mean, some people are gonna be a little bit more resistant to the flu, so they might not be as equal. Wow, he's got a lot of blood quality. And he's also got a cold, so you are actually getting there for being sick. Whoopsie.
What are your thoughts on the terrible situation in this city?
Terrible, you say? No. Of course, the death of so many innocents is a tragedy. But the scourge has not been all bad for the city. Oh, no, sir.
What are you talking
Say
about?
what?
You remember London before the flu? Noisy, cacophonic, quiet nowhere to be found. And now, listen to this oddly peaceful silence.
That is terrible. Yeah, peaceful silence, really?
Peaceful? That's quite an unusual way to speak about the epidemic. And very inappropriate, I must say.
Most people fail to understand my perspective. I don't blame them. But how could I call myself a poet if I veiled my feelings?
Yeah. Like, I understand it. It's just... It's just like, oh, it's so peaceful now that all the people are dying. That's a dangerous sentiment to kind of follow.
Are you aware that your life could be in danger in this part of town?
But this is where I must be to feel the real beat of the city. I had to come, see it for myself, alone.
I understand your need for solitude, but it's not safe around here.
I don't care. I don't have many friends, Doctor, and my family despises me.
I love how many times we go on down a line and they just end it right there. I'm like, why does your family despise you? We don't know. We're not going down that.
If some misfortune came upon you, who would be here to help you?
Well, you for a start, my dear doctor.
Yeah, if I was here for this particular second, but what if when I walk away?
Tell me, Mr. Nethercott, why seek inspiration in Whitechapel?
The place is not beautiful per se, but how to explain it? Stirring and challenging.
I think you'll find it pretty challenging around these parts if you stay for too long.
Do you not think it a little morbid?
On the contrary, sir, Whitechapel is full of life, full of beauty. Just like my dear muse, the wonderful Camellia.
What can you tell me about Camellia?
Not much, and that's the beauty of it. She can't speak, you know. She's a locked mystery who exhales kindness and sweetness.
Who the hell is Camellia? Camellia is like a muse to Richard Nethercott, who sees her as a locked mystery. Okay. What is that about? Also, Darius has bronchitis. So Camellia is part of this district. Guess they're all kind of tied up together down here. How are we gonna do that?
Perhaps you're just afraid to find out the truth about your muse.
One day, perhaps, I'll ask her to come with me. But will she still be my wild flower of Whitechapel if she moves uptown?
And have you ever tried to learn more about her? Where she lives? How she survives? Whom she may know?
Maybe I prefer she remains an enigma. Reality can be so dull, don't you think?
Sounds like a good way to just be like, to avoid asking out your crush. Oh, well, maybe she'd actually be pretty dull if I asked her, so you know what, I'll just leave her a mystery. It's better that way, yes.
In what way, exactly?
The struggle by gaslight, the barren smiles, and the added hunger under the rain.
If you say so.
Such vibrant antagonism and vivid paradox, the stripped humanity raged across each street.
Vivid, of course, yes. And what about the poignant distress?
Oh yes, the poignant distress. You see what I mean, don't you? That's what I want to write about, and that's what Whitechapel is made of.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's get to the real reason I'm trying to talk to you.
May I ask you a few questions about the district?
Extraordinary part of town, is it not? I'll be glad to help you, if I can.
I'm looking for Dorothy Crane, a nurse who lives in this vicinity.
Dorothy Crane. Oh, I love the name. The Crane of Whitechapel. Sounds very mysterious. But, sorry, no, never heard of her.
Really? What about Darius?
What can you tell me about an old man called Darius?
Darius Petrescu. Yes, I know him. At first, I thought he was only a small publisher. I invited him to publish my work, but his reaction was pretty clear.
Not interested in your talent?
Darius is an old political activist who takes delight in printing tracts and lampoons. Those communist activities only require mediocre writing skills.
Alright. Darius is a former Romanian political activist. Sure, okay, I guess that's what we're getting from that.
I'll leave you alone, sir.
So from that, all we can really do is go and find the mailbox and the letter. Oh, well there's Camellia. Funny. I wonder if she's gonna end up being like a vampire or something else. I need some intrigue here, man. Flower bouquet. A small flower bouquet with a voucher for a free medical checkup hidden between the flowers. Oh, hey. Camellia secretly distributes medical vouchers for Dorothy Crane's dispensary. Ooh. Well, Camellia, we need to have a chat with you. But first, we're looking at this. Darius Petrescu's letter. My dearest, most beloved children, I am so sorry you have not heard from me for a few months. The situation in London has been difficult. I know it may sound selfish and silly when you, my children, are still living in a country consumed by war, but there is also a war going on here in England. A war against poverty and against injustice. This is a war I intend to fight despite my advanced years. This is why I'm writing to you today. I won't be coming back to Romania. That's probably why I won't see you again before I die. Don't be sad, my darlings. You are grown up now, and you have children of your own. You know the sacrifice we must sometimes accept to make the world a better place. This is one I must take now, to feel useful one more time. I wish you a long and happy life. Kiss my grandchildren for me, and remember that your father loves you all the way from this cold, damp country. I am, as ever, your loving father, Darius Petrescu.
The content of Darius' letter to his children could give me more leverage to enter.
Yeah, we could chat to him about his
Darius is a bit
kids.
less of a mystery now. It should not be that difficult to incite him to let me in.
Sure, but let's learn a little bit about Camellia.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed. I'd like to ask you a few questions. I know what you're thinking. A tall stranger who meets a girl in the street at night. It reeks of the penny dreadfuls. But I mean you no harm, truly.
She doesn't talk. She doesn't talk.
I know you understand what I'm saying. Your silence has nothing to do with you being mute, does it?
Yeah, you could still, like, respond in quite a few different ways. So how do I level up my mesmerize? I wonder if that's something I level up by just drinking more and more blood.
Tell me about Richard Nethercott. I understand he is quite fond of you, Camellia. Camellia, I know you work for Dorothy Crane. Please tell me about her secret dispensary.
She just doesn't answer.
A stubborn and mute comrade. Nurse Crane and Darius Petrescu have been clever.
Wow.
Very well. Goodbye then.
Sure, Camellia. Sure. She could be a legit mute, but I don't trust that. Not one bit. Still, we'll head on out. We gotta go ask Darius a few questions now. Is there anything around here that I could partake in? Can I go into the church itself?
You are blinded by
Not
your
from here.
false faith, imprisoned by your daily routine, unable to see the true horror around you.
Alright, what are you trying to say here, buddy?
Forgive my interruption.
Do not apologize, my son. Father Tobias Whitaker is always happy to teach mortals about the incoming Armageddon.
I am Dr. Jonathan Reed, and I just have a few questions.
A scientist? You are much more lost than I thought, my son.
Wow! Oh, I don't even know if I want to talk with him.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences, and most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
I mean, I guess, in a way, sure.
Well, I suppose I can spare a few minutes listening to your so-called truth.
As a doctor, you must be aware of the decimating epidemic. But let me tell you that this so-called Spanish flu is just the beginning of the end.
What do you mean?
The beast is finally revealing itself, corrupting the flesh and the heart of men. With my own eyes I have seen them, those minions from the abyss.
Okay, and what is your plan?
Really? And what would be your answer to this biblical threat?
We must fight the disease before this legion outnumbers us. But not with scalpels and microscopes. No.
What is left then?
Cleansing fire.
Okay, Whitaker's a little crazy. Tobias wants to cleanse the epidemic by fire. No relationships.
Tell me, Tobias, what exactly is your plan concerning the cleansing of this city?
God will recognize his own. More than once this city has risen from the ashes, hardened and purified by the flames.
Fire is just the instinctive answer of a caveman facing something he does not understand. This is the 20th century.
Your lack of faith is predictable. But my task is to convince rational minds like yours to see the light. This is God's will.
You're mad and dangerous. You're nothing but a soulless butcher. A small-time Torquemada. The Savonarola of Whitechapel.
My son.
Wow,
if
I don't
you
know what
think
he just said.
Salvation is a free gift. Go listen to the lies of that pompous fool, Joseph.
Joseph, a fool.
Vicar Larrabee of St. Mary's Church. While he continues preaching his fraudulent redemption, more and more people die in the streets.
Wow. You are... Tobias believes the Vicar of St. Mary's Church, Joseph Larrabee, is preaching a false faith. You are really full tilt. Okay, hold on. I don't think I can actually meet this other dude. Do we want to ask him any of this? Do you have any family, crazy Armageddon guy?
Have you any friends? Any family left in these terrible times?
No. But I have a disciple I see as my son. He is so devoted. I send him to preach the good word in the heart of this corrupted city.
Where did you send him?
I sent Samuel to the Stonebridge Cemetery.
What?
Where the pestilence and evil grows night after night.
A cemetery? Holy Crusade, new investigation. Yeah, I guess we can check that
You
out.
sent him on some preaching crusade during the epidemic.
As a true believer, Samuel will fear no evil while he walks through the valley of the shadow of death.
Right, okay, we gotta go. I don't want to ask
I
him
have had
about
enough for tonight.
Crane either.
Goodbye.
I thought he was gonna give some secret answers about, you know, like all the vampire things going on. I've seen the monsters of the night, and we have to cleanse them with the fire of Armageddon. I'm like, all right, well, tell me where you've seen these monsters, right?